It's Friday. It's time for our Friday phone in. This is the time of the week where we have our live guests phone in. Members can share their trades, how their week has been, what they're looking forward to next week. And as we do it, you can see I'm in the middle of a trade here, trying to make another profit on Virgin Galactic in my scalp trade. I'm sure that will come up in conversation in our Friday phone in. So we're going to unmute everybody. We're going to bring everybody into the broadcast. Let's get ready to go. This is looking good. And let's go over to our guests. We've got Loudwork and Zach Zate live on the show. Good morning, fellas. How are you today?
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How are you, Loudwork? Good to have you here. What a day it's been today. A lot of trading in and out, lot going on. Zach Zate, let me come to you first of all. I like that T-shirt, by the way. That's very artistic. I like that. Is that that looks like is that a space helmet? Is it or is it a diver's helmet?
I love astronauts. I like everything about space. I got
space
full collection.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So we've got Zach Zate with us. For those of you who have not seen you before, Zach Zate, where are you from? Tell us where you're from and where you are from originally as well.
I represent the flag of Israel, Shabbat Shalom, and I live in California at the Bay Area, working as a contractor and servicing a remodeling project all over the Bay Area.
Wonderful stuff. And let me come back to Loudwork. Where are you from, Loudwork?
Chicago, Illinois, Martin.
Chicago, Illinois. Fantastic. Right then, let me start with you this morning, Zach. So, how's your week been? Are you up? Are you down? How are things going for you?
The week is phenomenal. As I told any other times, I'm not a day market. I'm a very long-term position.
Yeah.
And this week was very exciting thanks to you. I basically locked and loaded my old portfolio and I started a new one with your Robinhood application. So I started a new journey with the S&P companies, following Tesla with the $5 gift from you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Welcome. Yeah, it's exciting, right? Thanks for joining my Robinhood family. Absolutely great. So what do you think now? Virgin Galactic down at 178. Like you said, you're a long-term investor. I am too, but you know I like my long-term position and always making money from trading, because that way, if the worst comes to the worst, it's not going to happen. But if the worst came to the worst and Virgin Galactic went to zero, I'm not actually at zero because I've made lots of profits doing it. And hopefully I've made enough profit that would actually compensate me completely. That's the idea. So I know you don't trade. You're just holding long. But how do you feel now we've got Virgin Galactic at 178? Are you concerned or are you just buying more?
No, I'm not concerned at all. And I'm a buyer. I buy. I got to my target. My target for a long time was to get to 5,000 shares. Yep. If Virgin Galactic continued the journey with, and once again, less than a month, we got another 3 days from the 8th to the 5th. So it's even less than a month for another flight. I listened yesterday once again for the astronaut, our new astronaut that broadcast on Instagram, how we enjoyed the journey. I think I was speechless just to listen how they really take that flight into the next level. It's a ride that I'm always going to be excited as a flight going to come no matter what, as long as flights are coming. The big flights are the Delta. So yes, we're looking to 2026. But starting 5 years ago and keep buying, I believe, or bankruptcy. So we won't see zeros. We won't see $0.50. But if it gets to the dollar, and I'm a worker, I'm keep making money, I'm putting my sides, want to buy a house eventually. So if I'll get to the position that she will be in a dollar and the flights keep going, I will double my position. So It's very easy on a small amount of money to buy more. But the volume of Virgin Galactic is very critical. And we can see those exciting days and we can see those slow days. So there is a full control on that company, and I like the progress of the flights. So I'm gonna keep following.
I think it's a very good point that you mentioned, a very, very important point that you mentioned, particularly in a very risky business of the rocket industry. The fact that not only have they stuck to the every month now, it's getting less than a month every time. And that's being noted. People are noticing that the schedule is slightly speeding up. So, people are thinking, are we going to get 2 flights a month? Because obviously when we start getting that's when Virgin Galactic is, properly profitable. It just can't make enough money from where 1 flight a month. But if it can start doing 2, which is of course what the Delta fleet's all about, that's when we start seeing profits going up, and then of course the share price will go up. So it's good that you've noticed that.
You mentioned once the rocket is going from the plane, he felt first time in his life he is actually sitting inside a rocket. He's in a rocket going right to space, and you see the dark, just like your song. You see the dark and you see the earth. I don't think anything can explain it to any human being. So Richard Branson started something here and left. Trevor from Nicola, and you have your new member that I really like, because I follow with Nicola and Trevor left. Everybody that starting a company living, but we see the big ones, and that's why I said the good companies, those that works daily, and you see the product and you see them delivering on the road, that's America. This is the companies, that's the market of America. Every country have her own stock market. Every state, every place in the world have its own stock market. You mentioned you don't like the Chinese corruption government. We also had sometimes with corruption government that effect, but now we're doing a lot of clearing up from that corruption, or making fake news that we used to have, because the real companies, and it's about every company and every opportunity and every idea, technology, high-tech, solars, every future in the whole world, you got to keep follow, but it will take the next probably 2-4 years. If you keep working, you keep making money, keep putting aside and investing, that's what I do. I'm a long term. I don't sell. And even if space will get to $10, I'm not going to sell. And if she'll get to 27, when I start my personal journey, I will start maybe to buy more.
I love it. I'll come back to you in a minute about what your plan is for next week and what you're looking forward to next week, because big week next week after we've had the reaction of the FOMC settle down, see how we start to rally if we do. I'll come back to you on that question in a minute. And also, I was very excited to see that you ordered one of my my fleeces, one of my hoodies. You'll have. I can't wait to see you wear that on the show with the crystal ball. Anyway, we'll come back to you in a second. I want to go to Loud Work. Oh, he's got the mug. I love it. Yeah, cheers, mate. I love it. Let's come to Loud Work right now. Thank you, mate. Stay right.
With your hoodie, maybe next week.
Yes, can't wait. Stay right there. I'll come back to you in a minute. Loud Work, how are you, mate? It's lovely to have you here. Is everything all right with you today?
Yeah, Martin, doing well. Thank you.
Brilliant. Great to have you here. So how was your week investing? Are you up? Are you down? What's happening with you this week?
It was a rough week in the market, watching everything go, and Fed coming out and kind of surprising everybody. Not what I expected. So, and also, sorry, I think I've got an alarm going off here, but.
You okay? Take your time. No worries.
There we go.
There you go.
And also hearing, September supposedly is one of the worst months in the market anyway. Yeah. You've got all the Wall Street people, they're taking their summer vacations and everything. So I've kind of been sitting out for quite a while, the last couple of weeks. And now today things are starting to turn a little bit. And I think like what just happened with FFIE this morning is a perfect example. This is, maybe whether you want to be in this stock or not, this is going to be one of those EV kind of stocks that's going to have these pops every now and then. And if you're following it along the way, I think it can be rewarding along the way, even if the company isn't profitable over a long term. So I'm out of it completely right now, just like you are. But at the same time, I'm going to be watching for these little run-ups.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do have a long-term position still, but because I don't think I can get my money out of it, because I'm down like about 20% on my long-term, that's why I've been in and out scalping it. Because when we covered the earnings of FFIE, I like the technology, the car, the whole thing. It's great what they've managed to create. However, they're not concentrating on selling it right now. They're not. They said themselves. They said on their earnings. Right. It's about building a brand and spending the money and so on. We've seen the post. We've seen what's been going on. And for me, thank you, Abdullah, just for subscribing to my channel right over Loudwork's face there. I do apologize, Loudwork, for that. You never know when it's going to happen. But good stuff, right? So you got to make some money from it. And when the CEO was addressed and that question was put to him, are you going to sell cars? Are we going to see profits? They answered it and said, we're not even bothered about that right now. And that's fine for them. For those people, the founders of the company, because they're actually paying themselves a wage, just like Lucid, our famous story with Peter Rawlinson, CEO of Lucid, paying himself $500 million a year in salary, the fourth highest paid CEO, while the company loses $500,000 on every car. So we know it's great for Peter Rawlinson. And it's pretty good for the people everybody else that works there. They're all getting, they're all paying themselves a ridiculous amount of money. But from an investment point of view, just like we see when we watch Shark Tank, or whether we watch, Dragon's Den or whatever in England, these sharks say the same thing. You might have a great business, you might have a great product, but where is the return on my investment for me as an investor? So, at the end of the day, there's no benefit to me as an investor right now. So I want to make some money wherever I can, but it's very, very risky. So other than FFIE, what are you looking forward to for next week?
Still looking into semiconductor infrastructure for the whole AI revolution that's going to be coming. I'm looking into an ETF called SOXX, SOXX. They have a basket of semiconductors that I think could do well.
Very sensible way of doing it. Very sensible ETF on that industry.
Yeah, and then two other things back on the, not just FFIE specifically, but in terms of the car kind of revolution in general. I want to, like, one thing that's worked for me in the past is if you're watching a stock, if you're holding it long term and you're down, right, and you start to see these run-ups and you start to get to know the stock really well, kind of like what you guys are doing with space. You wait for one of these moments, and when you're down, and then, like, for instance, like an earnings call that's going to come out, and you wait for it to kind of come out. You buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. But once you're down, then you're gonna right before these events, you're gonna really load up on that stock and decrease your average overall, and then from there, you can squeeze out, some small profits, and then decide if you want to get in or out or not. And then the other thing too, in terms of this of the auto workers union strike, I was listening to some other YouTubers, and someone came up with a really interesting point of, like, that CEO paying herself, like, giving herself like a $7 million raise. Well, we as investors are not benefiting from her giving herself a raise, and they're going to bring the argument of, like, oh, it's going to make the cars go up and everybody's going to have to pay more. And well, we're already doing that anyway with gas prices and whatnot. So, but you've got 150,000 workers who are going to be out of work, and they're not spending money in the economy. So us as investors, if we're invested in, Starbucks, McDonald's, Tesla, whatever, we want those workers to be out there spending money in order to make our stocks go up. I mean, it's a really kind of simple argument, actually, but it's not really the way most people think about it.
Sure. Makes sense. What did you think about, well, two questions I have for you. First of all, you talk about semiconductors. Are you aware of, or are you concerned about what's been happening with China reducing the amount of basic raw materials? There's, in fact, none have been sold on the market for the West to be able to make semiconductors. They've the raw materials are not being sold on the market from China. They've stopped selling it at the moment. It's a temporary thing, comes and goes. Are you aware of that? That the materials to build semiconductors is being restricted at the moment?
I hadn't heard of that specifically, but from what happened after the CHIPS Act, where they're trying to bring a lot of that manufacturing back over here anyway, it's probably a retaliation from what we did to them by not letting them have access to the main chips that are going to be coming out.
I'm sure. I'm sure. It's a game.
Yeah. So within the next 5 years, I mean, you've got like Intel, you've got even you've got some other companies coming out now. Even Tesla is saying, because they're having such a problem getting these NVIDIA chips, that they're going to start working on their own, and now NIO is doing the same thing, where it's like these massive companies realize that the prices of these chips are so high, and they can't keep up with demand, so they're going to start working on their own. And whether that is going to be good or bad, I don't know, but it's something that kind of everybody is aware of, and things are in a very transitional point right now for everybody, and when the dust settles, I think it's going to come out with the U.S. ahead.
Yeah. How did you feel about what was your reaction and thoughts after the Fed? We got a pause again, or a pause for the first time, in fact. And in the UK, the rates were lower than they anticipated. What's your thoughts there?
Well, it's not what they said they were going to do, is it? I mean, a year ago, they were saying it's going to be this many, this much, and now they've moved the goalpost again. So, and that's the same thing they're going to do every time. It's, the Fed, Jerome Powell, he's not allowed to technically lie at his meetings or whatever. But if he doesn't lie this time and then changes his mind the next time, then they're going to keep doing that. So it makes it very hard to figure out if you want to just be in bonds or in stocks or whatever. But it's just something where, diversification, I guess, is going to be the answer.
Yeah. Just while you're speaking, I've just been able to make a 1.5% profit on my Virgin Galactic trade again today. Only a small amount, but it was another couple of shares for free. So that's good, and we'll try and do it again in a minute. So anyway, let me. I'm going to come back to you in a second for your final thoughts. Let me just go to Zach for his final thoughts. Zach. Next week, I didn't ask you, by the way, what your thoughts were on the FOMC. How did you feel about that?
I was happy to get the break at last,
Yeah.
Let's see where it's going to go from here. I was happy. I think it's a good move, and done with the raises. If they're going to raise again, I will not be surprised. Because he still mentioned he want to get to the 3%. So, but if it's gonna stick like that, and from here it just can get better.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to raise. I don't think they're going to raise again. I've said it time and time again. Holding the rates up long and for longer is just as painful, but it gives businesses a structure to work to. No more surprises. For me, that's what I think anyway.
August was good business.
Yeah.
August itself was a really big growth for the housing, for the everything. Yeah.
Final words from you, Loudwork. Final thoughts.
Take these dips as an opportunity to buy and load up long term, and just ride out the waves.
Absolutely. Final thoughts from you for next week, Zach Say?
I'm keep following for the 150 you promised. I'm very surprised. I remember the 411 Sensei mentioned, and we're very far from there. But I think going to take a few flights to get back into the right curves. I'm waiting for Sunday show.
I know, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. Tonight, we got my live music. Friday night is music night, of course. And then on Sunday, we're back, of course, this afternoon for the closing bell. But then on Sunday, we've got Sensei's very first show. And of course, it's the big reveal. No one has ever seen his face. No one knows what he looks like. So you're all going to find out who is the guy behind the voice on Sunday. And I'll be posting that link. Yeah, you go. He might be, I like the glasses. I can't wait until next Friday. You could have your hoodie by then. Anyway, you could. There you go. Cheers, guys. Thanks ever so much indeed. Brilliant. Let's do a thumbnail for today's show. So you could give us a smile, give us a wave, bring up your mug, Zach. There you go. All right. There we go. We got a good thumbnail there. Thank you ever so much. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate your time. Really do. All right, there we go. Wonderful stuff. There was our Friday phone-in. All members can call in. It's wonderful to have you join in. And if you want to be part of the show, just become a member and you can. Really, really, I love the Friday phone-ins. Really, really good. Okay, now if you want to be part of all of this, click above my head and you can see... the links to our socials, X and other things that we post there to give you further information. Over here, you will see, as mentioned by Zaxay, over here, we're going to put Sensei's very first premiere show on Sunday. And down here, another video. I'm not sure what that'll be just now, but I'll surprise you with that one. Virgin Galactic, I've just managed to sell again for another 1% profit, 1.5% profit. Happy with that. And it's going back down again, and I'll buy it under 178 this time. Keep doing that. Keep making profit all the time. Until next time, as always, join us next Friday on the Friday phone-in. Take care of yourselves and each other.